In King County, the Green River is a major concern. We've seen vehicles stuck in water on the roads, sometimes up to a foot deep. Meteorologist Alana McCauley joining us now. So, Alana, where are you looking at the potential for major flooding tonight and into tomorrow?
It is going to continue to be a developing event as we had mainly dry skies for the better part of the afternoon. But as we just showed you just a short time ago, that radar is starting to become more active. And just to give you an idea, the Green River near Auburn picked up over 5 inches of rainfall in the last couple of days. So not surprising that we were seeing some of those pictures of flooding there just a moment ago. So for today, we did manage to pick up a little more than an inch of rainfall at Snoqualmie Pass. But really, most of the skies were generally dry with only a few 1/100ths of an inch of rainfall. But of course, we've been watching the rain for the last few days now. So really over the last 72 hours, take a look at some of these rainfall totals. Almost 8 inches over Snoqualmie Pass, had over 5.5 inches in Olympia, and of course down there in Chehalis, over 4 inches of rain falling there. No big surprise. We continue to monitor all of the flood warnings. Several of the area rivers are going to continue to be in that flood stage. We've seen one peak of them, and they're going to continue to rise once again with the arrival of that second atmospheric river that is coming in for tonight. So let's talk a little bit about the flooding. We did see some conditions early this morning that we had some water rescues going on to the south of us here in parts of Chehalis, and we continue to see that as an issue for, again, into overnight tonight. So joining me right now with a little bit more of the context of what we're expecting to see with this is Lewis County Commissioner Scott Rumner. Thank you so much for joining us. Let us know how were things early this morning. We were talking about a couple of high water rescues that were even going on earlier today.
Well, they've been, our crews have been out, and we've had some active rescues of folks that we've had to get out of vehicles where they've gone into high water situations and had to be rescued. We've had folks that are obviously cut off with the road closures and unable to get in and out of their homes. And our concern now is that obviously with the second peak coming, that we're going to see more of that. The second peak probably being larger than the first, so we're going to have more folks that are in danger, both of their residents, animals, and property. And so we're monitoring it closely. Our Department of Emergency Management, our Lewis County Sheriff's Office, and as well our local first responders are, we're experienced in flooding in the Chehalis Basin and in the Cowlitz Basin. And so we're monitoring it closely, and we're doing our best to keep people safe.
Yeah, and that was actually going to be one of my questions, is that we're hearing a few of the surrounding cities ordering some evacuation orders and even emergency declarations. What's happening down there in Lewis County right now?
Well, the Lewis County Commissioners did enact an emergency declaration this morning in our regular business meeting. So that allows us to put all the resources that we have towards ensuring public safety. And then as the floodwaters recede, obviously the response for road damage and property damage will be responding to that as well. We're, like I said, very experienced, unfortunately, in flood situations in both of our major drainage basins. And so those emergency declarations just give us all the tools we need to ensure that people are safe and that we can quickly restore and get back to regular life once the floodwater recedes.
Yeah, and so, specifically this morning, we knew that there was a large volume of water, and as we mentioned, that family of 6 was rescued. How are the roads doing right now, to your knowledge, down there?
Well, because we've seen some the water recede, there have been some areas that have opened back up, but there are still quite a few road closures. We expect that to continue. We also expect there to be additional road closures, likely additional closures than what we had today and what we experienced as those peak water elevations come up, especially in our Randall Packwood area. We're very concerned about seeing potentially up to historic levels on those flows. The Newaukum back in our Chehalis Basin is also very susceptible to flooding and at the main stem of the Chehalis that can even cut off access on I-5. So we've got several closures that are continuing and probably more to come, unfortunately.
And really, looking at this morning, how does this compare to some of the floods you've seen historically and previously there in parts of Lewis County?
Well, you know, I've been through some big ones. I have been in this county over 30 years and been through the flood in 96, 2000, and we've actually had major floods in 2007, 2009, and then even just as recently as a couple of years ago. So they, you know, I don't want to say it's business as usual. We take them all seriously, and they all impact people's lives and are extremely costly for us here in our community. And so we are really, you know, we have a very robust flood warning system that we try to get information out that goes directly to people's cell phones and to their emails. And so any evacuation notices, we're able to push out directly to people. We're obviously using social media and our webpage and so forth to get that information out, and I think it's been a vast improvement. So the historic floods that we've had, you know, while they will continue, we've gotten a lot better at ensuring that public safety is first and foremost, and that people are able to get the information to get out before we get stranded and put our first responders at risk having to do rescues.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we appreciate all of the diligency that you are getting those messages out, and I promise you we're going to continue to monitor it back here as well and give you some of the most up-to-date forecasting. So we'll be in touch and see how things are going on down there. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Scott.
Thank you, Ellen. I appreciate it.